Tony Bennett with my favorite DJ, Jimmy Deal.
Hey everybody, welcome. This is Doc G, and of course I get Jimmy Deal on the line here with our special guest, Italian singer Giada Valenti. Welcome.
Thank you. And you pronounce my name very well.
Well, I'm Italian, so I hope so.
I know Italians that really misspelled my name in Valenti.
I know.
Gaida or Gouda. So, chapeau to you.
Well, welcome to the show, Giada. What an honor to have you. I know you're in Venice, Italy right now, and it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, so you're up late with us, really.
Correct. Which depends. For us artists, 1 o'clock in the morning, it's just like, our day starts. So.
Wow. I want to say congratulations on your new Christmas single, Silent Night, a beautiful song. Tell us about putting the latest album together. I know the album is not out yet, but the single is. Tell us about that.
Well, it was a COVID present, last June, I was out of work, of course, like most of the artists. There was nothing to do. And I had done this kind of live streaming. So because of that, I reconnected with so many of my famous musicians, friends. And I started to make a few phone calls and I said, guys, what about we make a Christmas album? And before I knew, I called all the greatest musicians. They were all out of work. Nathan East on bass. And he said, of course, my dear, I'm in. And then I called Greg Field, which is an 8-time Grammy winning producer. He's a dear friend of mine. And he said, I will produce it. I'm in. And then I called Anthony Wilson. Diana Krall was not touring, just like me. And he was, his birthday was available. I called Toriko Cooney. He's the musical director of Just Groban. He said, I'm in. And before you knew, we booked Capitol Studios, which we were lucky. First, we could not have Capitol Studios in LA because they were closed for COVID. And they opened exactly at the date we wanted to do the records all together. So we went to Los Angeles. And funny things, if you want to know, talking about COVID, COVID is very bad, but for me, it was a lucky moment. Then we wanted to have some strings because making a Christmas album, of course, was my first Christmas album. We needed strings. And my producer, Greg Field, he said, I have a good connection at the Abbey Road Studios in London. And I know the Royal Philharmonic may not have a lot of work. So we made a phone call. And before you knew, we were 6:30 in the morning, Vegas time. We woke up and we saw on a live streaming, just like this one, the Royal Philharmonic playing my music, basically. And the orchestra was conducted by Robert Ziegler, which we all know for the movie of James Bond. And so it was just magical. That's what to answer your question, it's been like, is it really true? Did it really happen? And I punched myself. And of course, because of COVID and now seriously, we couldn't really put a tour together. There was not much to do for an artist. So, and it's such a beautiful project. We recorded 14 songs. We didn't want to throw out the CD just like that. So we decided first we wanted to postpone the whole project to next year. But of course, my fans, I hyped the whole thing. I said, I did it. And they were like, we want to hear at least something. So we said, okay, let's just do one song. And I chose Silent Night because it's one of the oldest, it's 400 years old, that song. It's like an anthem for Christmas. And
sure.
And we did it. And I think you have it, right? So I'm sure you.
Yeah, we have to actually send it to Doc G, and Doc G's going to get it on Hamilton Radio.
Yeah, we'll definitely play it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Also, I want to congratulate you on your Christmas show over at the Smith Center in Las Vegas, and you can stream it now on your website, which is pretty awesome.
Yes, it was nice. We did COVID has changed a few things, so now we can do a hybrid concert. So we have an audience in the room, and we can globally live streaming. They say, right, because people can be wherever they want to be. And we decided to keep the streaming available until the end of the year. So if people have not seen the concert or wants to have a present for somebody that has everything, they can buy a ticket and they can make a glass of Prosecco and some pasta, and they can watch me singing and having fun. It was actually turned out to be a very fun concert. Everybody's in a great mood. All things that we always gave for granted, like getting together and go to a concert, we always said, oh yeah, I can do it another time. Now everybody wanted to be there, and they were there, and boy, they were partying. They were happy. Everybody was smiling. So I think after COVID, life is going to be magnificent.
Absolutely.
We are going to be so happy.
Well, where can you go but up, right? After what we went through.
Well said. But
So
and it's funny that I went back at the Smith Center because in Las Vegas, I know you guys have a lot of common friends of me in Vegas, and one of them is Johnny Katz, is our reporter of the Vegas magazine, and he keeps mentioning me as Giada Valenti, who closed the Smith Center, because before COVID, the last concert at the Smith Center, March the 12th, was my 12 or 14, JJ? 12 was my concert. We did, I premiered there my show, Songs from the Movies, and everybody was happy, you know. And the day after, Vegas closed. So to these days, anytime John Katz has something to write, said about COVID, he said, Angela Valenti, by the way, closed. I'm going into history for that.
right. Now we have a mutual place that we go to. It's called the Tuscany in Las Vegas. And you also perform at a lot of different places around town there in Las Vegas. Tell us about that.
Actually, it's funny. Many people think that because I'm in Vegas. I'm a resident of Vegas, and I go to the Tuscany all the time and not to perform. I perform only at the Smith Center in Vegas. And for the rest, I tour around the United States. But all my friends performs at the Tuscany. And funny enough that you say that, before I was a resident of Las Vegas, when I was living in LA, Tuscany was the hotel where I was staying, because I knew that there was Kelly Clinton, and of course Clint was there, and all the other people that performed were there. So it's a beautiful place. But before we went live, I told you, I mean, I know you're good friends with Kelly Clinton Holmes, the wife of
Clint Holmes, yeah.
Yes.
And Dennis Bono, I'm sure you know Dennis Bono.
Dennis Bono is part of my family. Sometimes I co-host the show. Actually, Dennis, it's been one of the reasons that I moved also to Vegas, because when I was doing my PBS special, if you have a second, so you know, you do the pledge drives and you go to the PBS stations, and so I did, I think, 80 stations around the country, and the last one was Las Vegas. Never wanted to go to Vegas because I don't drink and I don't gamble. So for me, Vegas was just like, what am I going there for? But anyway, PBS picked up the show, so I go to Vegas, and somebody told me just before the show, they said, you know, Vegas is going to be tough because they have 200 show every night. So who is going to pick up the phone to buy tickets for your concert? I was like, oh, gee. So, you know, there are three pledge breaks. So first pledge break, I have like 30 phones behind me. None of them is ringing. And in my head, I try to keep smiling and being very smiling together with there with the presenters, and no phone is ringing. Finally, second break of phone calls, the phone starts to ring. Long story short, at the end of the show, we were already out of the show, let's say, and phones were ringing. So I went and I picked up one because I wanted to thank these people that were buying tickets for Giada Valenti coming from Venice with love. Who the heck am I? So, and I got this wonderful lady, and she said, I know you might think I'm crazy. She said, but I would love to invite you to a place that you may enjoy. And it was the Italian American Club.
Oh, nice. Yes.
Yeah, nice place. So I said, okay, tomorrow night I'm coming for dinner. I went there, and the first person I met who invited me to the Dennis Bono show is Dennis Bono and Lorraine. And ever since Lorraine Hunt, they have been part of my extended family. It made me feel like I belong there. And I was like, and then of course my leasing in LA was almost at the end. And I said, you know what? With JJ, we said, my husband, why we don't go to Vegas? And of course, Dennis was super happy. That's why sometimes I'm either guest of the show, the Dennis Bono show, or I'm co-hosting the show.
Yeah.
When Corey Sachs is out of time doing impersonations
doing
of
Reba McEntire.
Yeah. When she's out of town, I'm the one taking her place. So it's Vegas. I know you guys have been there many times. Vegas is a magnificent place when it comes to community and friends. What is special for me, what makes Vegas feeling home for me, are the people, the community. Yes. The musicians, but also the, let's say, the singers, but also the audience. It's a very small world.
Yes, I know
Yeah.
you perform at the Italian American Club, as you just mentioned. I have a good friend there, Laney Counts, who also performs there all the time. I don't know if you
Yes.
know Laney.
I know
Yeah, and
everybody know Lenny. Actually, just before COVID, I did a concert at Lone Tree, Colorado. Never been there. It's a nice, beautiful performing arts center. The first I stepped in, the first poster I saw was Lenny Counts. I said, "Hey!" And the people love it. He's such a sweetheart, right?
yes,
Everybody
great
is.
guy,
There
great guy.
is so
Yeah.
much talent. There is so much talent. I mean, I lived in New York City, and New York
Uh-huh.
City for 11 years. We have a lot of talents on the East Coast, but in Vegas, boy. We just did a couple of weeks ago the Jim Caruso cast party that normally is at the Berland with Billy Stritch, and they did it
Hmm.
in Las Vegas at the Smith Center. So, you know, it's an open mind for people in the business. And from the first to the last performance, I mean, they blow you away. I mean, even Jim Caruso and Billy Stritch, they played with Liza Minnelli, they were like, gosh, this is just out of this world, and it's so joyful. There is I must say, in I am Italian, so I'm very much hugging and loving everybody. And in New York sometimes I had some difficulty because it's
Hmm.
like everybody tried to protect their little space. Me, I'm more like my space is your space is my space. And that's why Vegas is perfect for me. There is no space, there is just us. And I think it's
Absolutely.
magnificent.
Could you tell us how you got into the business? How do you start singing? I know you started at a very young age, right? Tell us about how that got started for you.
I started actually. I'm live now in my bedroom. We changed it into a TV studio for the joy of mom and dad. But I started here in Venice. I've been told very young. I was going to church with my grandmother. She was a singer, and
Hmm.
she noticed that I could hold a note. So she said, "Let's put the child to a music school." So I did classical piano, and they told me that I could write music notes even before I could write words. So I started to play piano. I started to take lessons for singing. I've never made a decision that I wanted to be a singer. I'm always say, my grandfather was a crazy man. He always say, in life you need to be happy. Devi essere felice. And it happens that music and performing was my happiness. So every time I found something that made me happy that had to do with music, I was going with it. That's why I married my husband. Do you guys hear also a strange noise? So it's only me. Oh, he's gone.
Yeah, I
So
heard it too. I don't know what it's coming from
yeah,
though.
Yeah.
right. He's not in my
So-
house. Anyway, so I follow my happiness, and that brought me where I am. Music,
Absolutely.
music.
Doc G, what do you have for Giada
Well,
Valenti?
I want to give her a shout out from our friend Tom Payton, and of course my good friend Prince Fleet Easton, Jimmy and I friend. He's also a performer in Vegas and California. He's a great, great friend. I wanted to ask you more about your Broadway show, the one that was the evening with you. Could you tell us a little bit about that? What was that like for you?
I mean, I've done so many of things, 54 below and stuff like that. It's I mean, every time when they say an evening with Giada, yeah, I mean, who's Giada? Nobody. It's just a person that is joyful, that loves music. And if you come to one of my show, depending which show it is, unless it's the Christmas show, people were always surprised about how broad is my spectrum of the songs I sing. Of course, I have this Italian accent, and wherever I sing, I have my special vibrato. So everything I sing, I make a Giada Valenti. But I love music of all kind of eras, all kind of different music, and of course, I rearrange them and I give them my own spin. So when I was doing that kind of show, people were surprised that I could sing songs in many languages, songs that were originally rock songs or country songs. I am Italian, born and raised in Venice, Italy, but I do love country music. American country music for me, it's just like magnificent songwriting. The artists are pure artists. There is no ego. It's just passion for music. And they write, I'm always say, in a way that is easy for me to understand and for everybody. So they don't try to find poetry in words. There is poetry because simplicity is poetry, but they're so simple and yet they can reach your heart. And we all have, no matter how intelligent we are, no matter which kind of doctors we are, we can have three kind of doctorandus in wherever we have a heart, and emotions can reach the heart in the same way to all of us. And they do that because they speak about things that we have every time. So if you come to my show, I always say there is two things that divide everything in life for me. And it comes again back to my grandfather. My grandfather, he always used to say, don't divide things in too many categories. You're going to get into a problem. There are only two categories, good and bad. So there is good people, good music and bad people, bad music. And he always said, remember, what is bad for you may be good for other people, so be respectful. So I sing only the music that touch my heart, that emotions my soul, and can be anything. If you see my PBS special, there was Light My Fires of the Doors, Come On Baby, Light My Fire in my own version, and then there were the Carpenters.
Yeah.
And then there was La Vie en Rose written, and then there was Volare. Of course, I am Italian. I need to sing Volare. So
you have to.
people are surprised when they say an evening with Giada and said, "What is that?" And I said, and first of all, I'm very funny in a way that not because I want to be funny. It happens that I make fun of myself. So everything it's people comes there not knowing what they come and see, because I mean it's not that I'm as famous as Celine Dion or my friend Andrea Bocelli. People, not everybody is familiar with my music, but when they get there, they come out, I hope, and I think that's what they tell me, with a broader spectrum of what I am. And basically I'm just a simple person that enjoy life and enjoyed very much what she does. And I'm always say I sing for my audience, but most of all, like all performers, even if they don't admit, we do it because we love it ourselves very much.
Well, what I remember about something like this is my grandmother. Her maiden name was Valenti, so she was Maria Valenti, and then she got married, of course, and became Di George. But wow, there's so much royalty in this family with the Valenti name, especially here in New Jersey.
There
I
is.
know.
It's funny. Wherever I go, there is always Valenti. They said, "Are you related to me?"
You probably don't know, but you might.
Oh, we are. We all are. We come from Adam, right?
Yeah.
So you may be my family. Actually, you look like my uncle Giovanni, who was here today.
Well, my name is Gino, and I come from Giulio, my dad. And
there we go.
Yeah,
he came here today to hang the paintings for me. So it's my uncle Giovanni. You may be.
I might be related to him. Yeah.
There you go.
There we go.
You know, you mentioned that you worked with Andrea Bocelli and you're friends with him. Tell us what that's like to perform with Andrea Bocelli.
Funny enough, I got the connection with Andrea. I mean, I met Andrea several years ago, and then we lost path, and he became Andrea Bocelli, which was unreachable. And then when I was in Vegas once, I did a performance for Dennis Bono again. The mother of his wife turned 102 at the time, Marie, and la Mamma Maria from the bootlegger, they invited me there, just me, Frankie Scinda, Cinta, and Clint Holmes, just to be guest, because we knew Mamma Maria. She's also from this region, from the Veneto region. And I, of course, when you are a performer in Vegas, they call you on stage to do something. So I went on stage, I sang a song, and I didn't know that the sister of Mama Maria, Mama Angela, she was the daughter of Larry Ruvo, which is a very powerful man in Las Vegas. And Larry came to me and said, "I love your voice, you're such a sweetheart." And he said, "Do you know Andrea Bocelli? Would you love to get in contact with him and maybe sing with him?" And I was like, "Oh, let me think about it." Oh, yeah. So a couple of so night was over, and I think 2 or 3 months later, that's why they said you have to be prepared. I received an email from Veronica, the wife of Andrea, said, "My name is Veronica, got your name from Larry Ruvo. We would like to invite you to sing with Andrea at an event at Lake Tahoe at the property of Larry. Are you available?" I think it was in June or July then. I didn't even check with JJ my schedule. I said, "Oh, yes, I am." And that was an experience in the way that I keep telling the story. First of all, meeting Andrea, it's of course he's larger than life. It's we all know him as the persona on stage. He's very silent. He's very, with his posture. In real life, it's just the most sweet, adorable, nice, funny person. So I got a list of songs that I was supposed to sing with him, with 3 duets and a solo songs, and we arranged everything. We got to Lake Tahoe. And I was in contact with his wife, which Veronica, by the way, she's a manager and she's an amazing lady. So I asked actually listen to me. I asked Andrea if I could change something, one of the songs we were supposed to sing together, because I said, your note is too high for me, and I'm a mezzo, so can you do the melody line and I do an harmony? Never hear back from it. And my husband was keep saying, at sound check, you can go through the sound. So we got to Lake Tahoe at 3 in the afternoon. The orchestra was ready. Because when Andrea goes somewhere, he brings with him the sound and the lights, always the same people. So people were amazing, nice. So I go on stage, I do the sound check with my own solo song, was La Vie en Rose. They wanted me to sing. And then the sound engineer said, would you love to sing? Would you like to try also the duets? I said, yeah, as soon as Andrea gets here. And that was a discovery.
Mm-hmm.
Andrea Bocelli doesn't do the sound check because he knows all his songs. And if you want to sing with him, and he does it with everybody, because there was another singer that toured with him. And she said, you didn't know? I said, no, I never met the man once in Rome for a second. So I started to panic. I said, oh my gosh, I have like all these people in front of me that paid a lot of money to come and see us. And I mean, I never sang with him. And so I text Veronica. They were still in LA, and the concert started at 7. They got there at 5. So Veronica said, make sure you're ready, dressed up and makeup and everything at 6. And you will be escorted in a room and you get to meet Andrea, and you can discuss wherever you want. So you should imagine, I go inside, Andrea is sitting there on the couch, Mr. Andrea Bocelli, right? He's wearing his jeans and he looks very... I must say, he looks so much handsome and younger than what you see. I hope he's not listening to us, but he looks much better in real life. And so I walked in, and as soon as he hear, they said, this is Giada, in English, of course. And I said, buonasera, buonasera Andrea, sono Giada. Good evening. He said, he started to, so it was, when you speak Italian, he just light up like a light. And he said, oh, ma sei italiano, ma siediti. So we ended up in sitting on the couch and talking for like 30 minutes about life, about what he had done. And I was looking at the watch, and I was like, the piano guys was waiting there. They flew from Italy, a piano player, and Piero. And at a certain point I said, Andrea, I'm sorry to stop you, but I said, we have to sing together. And I said, do you remember I asked you to change a note? He said, oh yeah, let's try it. And can you imagine? You're sitting there with Andrea, and Andrea starts to sing. And his voice is just, I think he's one of the most magnificent voice. And so the guy sings, and he said, so what do you want me to do? I said, well, you do the high note, I do the harmony underneath. Okay, so the piano guys start to play, and we did it. And that was the end of it, only that song. So then 10 minutes later, every time before he goes on stage, he wants to walk for 10 minutes just to be calm. And he got there 10 minutes later, dressed up. We went on stage, and was the most joyful, easy, funny things, small details. I didn't want to use the classical microphone because I'm a pop singer, so I wanted a mic in my hands. And they decided to put me on his left side. And normally on his left side, he has the conductor. The singers, if you notice, they're always on his right side.
Right.
So I walk on stage with him, and I bring him to his microphone, and then I go on the back of Andrea, and I positions myself where the mic is, and people are looking at us, all excited. It's Andrea Bocelli. Forget about Giada Valenti, it's Andrea Bocelli. And Andrea turns to the right, and he said, Giada, ma dove sei? Giada, where are you? And me, I take a step and said, sono qui, I'm here. So he looked at me, and he's like, what are you doing there? I said, Andrea, I'm here. So people is looking at us like, what's going on, left and right? So Andrea took the mic, and that made the whole evening special. He took the microphone, and he said, well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know why she's there, because normally it's the conductor. And I said to him, if I have to conduct the orchestra, that's going to be a big problem.
Wow.
We started to sing, and we've been friends ever since. I mean, it's just, sometimes you imagine one thing. I mean, he's blind, so he has difficulty to remember you the second time he's here, because many people said, he's a little bit too silent for me. I'm like, the man is just in the dark. But if you spend like a little time with him, he's very intelligent. One of the reasons that he does not speak English, a lot. It's not because he does not speak English, it's because he's so perfect in his Italian, he's so eloquent and intelligent that he doesn't want to sound stupid. He knows everything about equipment. While we were waiting backstage, me and the other singer, a soprano, there was some equipment in the little room, and he touched something and he says, "What is this?" He asked me. I mean, I don't know nothing. And I looked at the other singer and she looked at me and said, "I don't know." I said, "Well, it's a piece of equipment." And he said to us, "Read. What is written on the fader?" So we go there with the light, we light. He said, "He's written." So he said, "Oh, so it's equipment for the lights." He knows everything about actually, when we did the stuff with the piano player in the room before the show, the piano guy, Piero, could not find the outlet for the electricity on the piano. And Andrea said,
Right.
"Which kind of piano is it?" And we said it was a Yamaha. And Andrea said, "He's on the left side, you switch on." So he knows everything.
Oh, that's wild.
It's been an amazing experience. I mean, to these days, I'm laughing about the simplicity. Of course, he freak you out because you're singing with Andrea, but I mean, it's kind of special. You hear his voice for 10 feet from you, and he's there. The only thing that scared me a little bit, he wants to make sure that you are there. So while you're doing your part and doing your magic, he puts his hands looking for you. So he's touching you. You're like, "What the?"
That's great.
I'm here. I mean, he's blind, so he's like, "Is she there?" So it's kind of an experience, and I hope to have more opportunity, but I mean, and you know what is funny? Because ever since I met him, for me, he's Andrea, he's just like us. But I can imagine that even for my agent, gosh, when you say, "Oh, Giada sang with Andrea Bocelli," it's like I sang with God. I'm like, I understand man is larger than life, but he's also very kind, very sweet. So, and he deserves all his success because he's very kind. He's a very
Yeah.
nice person.
Well, also from you being from Italy, did you ever perform at the Vatican at all?
No, actually, that's another thing that I would love to do. I'm very religious, as you may know. I mean, being Italian, I don't go to church every Sunday, but I do believe there is God, and I do believe in the power of prayer and kindness and stuff like that. And I would love, especially this Pope. Wojtyla was my Pope. My whole life, Pope Wojtyla was the Pope, so I call him my Pope. But now Pope Francis is very special too. I'm in Italy right now, and he's going through the news the whole week that. Actually, this week, he met four invisible. Yeah, they put camera. We're gonna see it on Saturday on TV. So he spent an whole day with four. They call it invisible people. Actually, there are people that have no money. They come from other country, and he wanted to understand and hear their story. It's very special, like he did in New York. Remember when he came to New York? Everybody was looking for Pope Francis for the big dinner,
Absolutely.
and Pope Francis was having dinner with the homeless. I think it speaks a lot about the person he is, and he just turned 85 years young.
Amazing.
There was
Yeah.
big celebrations here in Italy. So
Yeah.
I would love to meet Pope Francis and to sing. I mean, for him would be like, for me, it would. I'm sorry, Andrea, would mean even more than singing with Andrea or for Andrea.
I'm sure.
Really? Okay.
I'm sure he wouldn't mind.
Don't tell him, but I'm sure it's the same for him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on Silent Night. It's being played, what, in 18 countries now?
Yes, right? It's been in more countries than I've been. Yes, 18 countries so far. And we had this video clip that we made of Silent Night. And actually, in the last 2 days, he reached almost 16,000 views. And he's going up very fast, I guess, because of the 18 countries. So sometimes you cannot see who is putting the like, who is playing. But it's kind of nice. And I think it has to do with the song, Silent Night, Noche de Paz. I did it in 2 languages, in Spanish and in English. And it's a beautiful song. It's a 140 years old song. It was born in Austria, not far from where I am.
Oh, wow.
And may I say something that is also dear to me? During COVID, I educated myself to a couple of things because you need to learn something. So during COVID, when I started to do this live streaming, I was cooking, singing, and a friend of mine, now a friend of mine, at the time just a viewer, she wrote me a message saying that her son was deaf. And during COVID, the situation for deaf people was very, very difficult. Of course, we all know blind. We know Andrea and many people, famous people that are blind. I never realized that you don't see deafness. And so those people were at home. We were wearing masks. They couldn't see and understand anything. So I asked her to teach me how to to do American Sign Language. So now I'm able to sign and even sing and sign. And when I chose Silent Night, I've done it in a couple of programs. I sang and signed it. I think it's very special. Silent Night, the silence, and yet the message of love, the message of peace, and of Christmas should be available to everybody. So I do every time a lot of things with deaf awareness, and my viewers appreciate it too. So many people now know the sign of I love you, the sign of connected, the sign of spaghetti. Yeah,
That's great.
thank you, that welcome. So everybody now, and it's going to turn out Andy at a certain point. Because actually, I went to the Latin Grammy, and the room was so loud at the after party, and I was communicating with American Sign Language. You don't need to
Oh,
talk.
wow.
There we go.
And you speak so many languages too, right? Tell us about all the languages you speak.
Well, I speak a lot, and you are noticed that, right? I do talk a lot. I speak. Let me see. I speak Italian in the order that I speak Italian, French, Dutch, because I lived
Wow.
5 years in Amsterdam, and my first record deal with BMG was in the Netherlands. And I speak English, of course, Spanish, and American Sign Language. And I do understand German, but I do not speak German.
Wow. Have you toured other countries as well besides Italy?
I haven't done much in Italy, only as a child. When I was a child, of course, I was doing all these song contests for children. But then I married very young, and my career actually started in the Netherlands.
Oh,
I
wow.
went there, I married my husband, and I moved there, and with the idea of become a wife and maybe a mother and do stuff like that. And just by coincidence, I write also music. I'm a songwriter, and they said they were looking for a songwriter to participate of a festival for Italian living abroad, representing the country of the Netherlands. I did it, and I won the contest, and that rolled me into a record deal with BMG. And again, with BMG, we made a beautiful album with all original songs in Italian. And then when I was looking for more collaborations, I ended up going to London. And I wrote one song actually that changed my life. It's called Piece of My Heart. And a big major company, they offered me a deal I could not refuse, but I needed to move to London. I did it and then changed everything. From London, I went to New York, and from New York, that's what brought me here, the songwriting, the writing music for other people. And actually it was one song, the first English song I've ever wrote is called Italian Signorina. Is in one of my records. I'm an Italian signorina in the mood for love. I wrote the song like at 4 o'clock in the morning in Denmark. We were watching the beautiful sky, and we wanted to write something funny, but we were writing songs for other artists at the time with this publisher from London. And the guy I was working with, because I was singing all the demos, said, "You're such a good singer. Let's write something for you." So we wrote Italian Signorina, and for fun, because if you read the lyrics are so fun. Just I'm an Italian signorina in a mood for love and everything. I love chocolate. I love this. So it's all the stuff I like. And then my husband, who is more crazy than me, said, "See, the song has something. Let's send it around." And we got invited to New York City by Clive Davis.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
Nice.
I kept the email because he said I had an enchanting voice. So I was like, wow, let's go to New York. So we went there. And of course, I never signed a deal with them, but I worked for a year and a half. It was a wonderful experience because I got to write with everybody. And he said that one of the things I needed to do was improve my English speaking, but also writing better lyrics, because of course you read Italian Signorina in the mood for love was so easy. So, but anyway, I spent a year and a half writing. And then was the time when the record company were getting weaker and weaker. To be an independent artist was maybe a better way to go at the time. And I decided with JJ, we decided to stay in New York. I was already there for a year and a half. I fell in love with New York, and the rest is history. And that's where I started to do my show. I was
Oh,
mostly doing songwriting, and then I was there and I saw the bitter end. I saw at the time was a Feinstein's, and somebody said, "Why you don't go do your own show?" And JJ was like, "Yeah, let's produce a show." So the first show I did, it was an Italian night at a little theater on the Upper East Side. I don't know if you guys ever heard. It's called the Di Capo Theater. It's a beautiful theater, 300 seats, underneath the
mhm.
church on the Upper East. And we did it. At the time, I invited all the people that I knew were all Italian American people from the Italian American community. You know, there is so many little Italian American this and that. And so
Right.
I remember we did the first one. We sold out 3 times. And then I said,
Wow.
yeah, maybe there is something. And let's do it again. So we started to do it. And then, of course, I started to watch television. I saw PBS and I was like, that's something I would love to do. And so a couple of years later, I said, let's analyze how we can do that because we produced everything ourselves. JJ and I. JJ comes from the television world. He was
Okay.
a well accomplished producer in the Netherlands. And so he has the feel for making television. So, and we decided how we wanted the look to be. But of course, keep in mind, I'm an independent artist, broke like all the artists, so there was no money.
Right.
So we went on Broadway. We follow a couple of seminars how to not beg for money, but just how to convince investors to invest on you. And it was clear that I had the responsibility to make people invest in me. They needed to believe in me. So I've learned, we wrote the business plan. I've learned everything about the business plan. And I think for a year and a half, we shop around doing little show. And then uh, something happened that is not a bad thing. I got very sick. I almost died.
Mm.
Maybe even better person because when I recovered from that after a month of hospital at Mount Sinai, I knew even if I was young at the time that we are not here forever. So you have to have a deadline. So I have a business plan. It's not like, oh, I'm going to do it one day. No, I said, it has to happen. And funny enough, I think with 5 or 6 little showcase, we were able to raise all the money and we did it. And that was, I think, only a year after my illness. Let's say
Oh,
before
wow.
for 2 years. So sometimes, so many people. I just did some interview in Italy. They say, "Tell us about that bad experience." I don't remember anything about the bad experience. I remember only that being so sick and having a second chance in life made me better, made me who I am. Because
Absolutely.
when you're young, you think, oh, even when people are old, they think, oh, I can do it tomorrow. There is never tomorrow. Even if you are 10 years old, even if you're, there is now. So you have to have deadlines in whatever things you do. And sometimes I forget. And my husband sometimes said, hey, you have to put deadlines in your big projects because I have to put the big so
Yeah.
that's why we said we have to make the Christmas album this year, which was this year. And then COVID happened. Anyway, we have the album. It's coming out next year, September 1st. I will send you a copy.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
You
Yeah.
know, every year I love watching the Columbus Day Parade because I get to see you on there. Tell us about that. That must be a great experience for you and an honor for you to do almost every year.
It's fantastic. And I'm always saying the first year, I will never forget the first year. So I was in New York for a couple of months and I saw the parade and big dreamer that I am with JJ, I said, that's where I want to go. So soon after the parade, we started to make phone calls. We understood it was the Columbus Citizen Foundation, which by the way, I don't know if they watch, but I love them. And they we connect with them and they said, okay, you can do it next year. So the year later, so there I was, a little young girl coming from Italy, and I'm about to go and sing on. I thought it was national television in America. I mean, I don't know if you have been to Venice, but Venice is like a little dot.
Yes.
And America. So, and I remember, so the Columbus Citizen Foundation had never saw me perform. And I remember it was a very cold day. So I got a very nice outfit, but it was so cold. So I needed to walk on the red carpet. And I asked somebody inside the building if they could lend me something. I didn't even have a jacket. So they gave me the biggest, ugliest jacket in history. The jacket was huge. It was for a giant. And it was so big in the Italian community anyway. So I walk on the red carpet with this jacket. And I remember the president, everybody, the Columbus citizens, when I looked at me like, what's that? And I look at Andy, I was all happy, cheering up like that. And they came to me and said, that's what you're wearing? I said, no, this is what I'm wearing. So it was funny. So the first year was very emotional because, of course, it's the first time. And then it's been very joyful. And, at a certain point, when you live in New York, you start to know everybody. One year I was on stage, probably you've seen the clip. I'm singing Grande Grande, Never, 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 Shirley Bassey. And I'm starting to sing, and they forgot to stop the parade. So there is the police coming through the parade on the red carpet, and I know them all because my father, sleeping in the other room, is a police officer. So ever since I was in New York, I was connected to Sonny Grosso. I'm sure you're familiar with. I've always been connected to the NYPD. So while I'm singing, they pass with a big motorcycle, and they were like, beep, 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 beep. And they're like, I'm singing it. So you singing and you hear so it's very nice. I mean, come on, it's the most joyful things that there is. And I want to do a shout out to the Columbus Citizen Foundation because they, you saw the live streaming of my concert in Las Vegas, and they sponsor it. So it's been
nice.
Very nice.
Yes.
Fantastic. Doc G, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to, make a comment first of all, but I didn't know you were a songwriter. I'm actually a songwriter too. I wrote a song called Bonfire, and that's a country song, but it almost was up for a Grammy Award. I wanted to make an international song, Bonfire, for everybody coming together. You think you might be interested in doing something like that with me?
And to me, actually, it's funny that you say, because one of my dreams, talking about dream, is I want to make it into the country world. And one of my dreams is to do something with Vince Gill. I love Vince Gill. And
cool.
Vince Gill, yeah.
Vince is one of my favorites. And send it to me. Why not?
I will. I'll send you the other one, and then I'll try to compose something else. I'm actually supposed to compose something with my wife because she just retired. She's leaving in January, so from her work, and I'm happy for her too. So I'm trying to, incorporate everything. But I wanted to ask you: you were with Jennifer Lopez as well?
No, Jennifer is my favorite lady. No. I wish.
Oh, okay. Your music though is international like hers. Yeah. I mean, do you ever talk to anybody like that or see anybody like that?
Actually, yeah. I met a lot of people. I mean, and I have a lot of big dreams. And actually, the album of next year, the Christmas album. In my dream, I'm already talking right now, but of course, it needs to happen. I want to have a couple of duets. One, of course, is Vince Gill. And we're going to contact them all in January. And one is actually, I love Jennifer Lopez, but she doesn't have the voice that I need for that duet. But I would love to do it with Gloria Estefan, which I have met.
Oh, nice. Gloria Estefan, yeah.
Actually, one of the arrangers on the album and the piano guys is Shelley Berg, and he's the musical director of Gloria Estefan. So that will be my connection to Gloria. So I love Spanish music and country music, and I have in my mind to do a couple of duets. I don't know if I will be able to accomplish. So if you know Dolly Parton, please tell her I love her.
Jimmy might know her. I think Jimmy knows a lot of people.
So Dolly, say Giada loves you. And actually, I mean, she's just amazing. But I have a few in my list. I have a few people, and of course, you mentioned Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer is. I think, I don't know, you guys are boys, so I think it's the most beautiful woman right now on planet Earth. So who doesn't want to work? I would love to see Jennifer. Yeah. And I met also Rita Moreno.
Oh, cool.
West Side Story, of course, the movie. And
amazing lady.
It's funny because she's like one of the biggest celebrity, and she's just like Gloria Estefan, one of the sweetest, personable. We were on a rehearsal that she was doing a show in Miami. We couldn't make the show. So Shelley said, come to the rehearsal. So we met Gloria, and then Rita Moreno walks in. At the time she was made 82. So she goes there and she started to do the song with the orchestra, and she's rapping and touching herself. And we were sitting on the corner like, we don't want to disturb Rita Moreno, right? Hello, Rita Moreno. So she turns when she's done and she looked at us. She comes to us and said, kids, who are you? So we are like, we are JJ and Giada. And I am Rita Moreno. So we know who you are. And we started to talk, and she said, do you think I did good? I said, you're just amazing. So she was like, you really like it? I said, I thought it was, she was really, I was not bullshitting everyone. It was great. And
Amazing.
then, of course, she had no makeup because she was wearing, she was just sound check. But I wanted a picture with Rita Moreno. When am I gonna see Rita Moreno again, right? So I said, Miss Moreno, I said, you don't want me to, but I think I can take a picture with you. And she was like, absolutely, yes. And you know what? I post sometime, repost on in some occasion the picture. If you see that picture, there's no filters. She's not being retouched. She's the most beautiful human being you can see on a picture. The woman has
Yeah.
a face that just is loved by cameras. And I remember going home and watching my phone. I was like, whoa, it's the same old lady with no makeup, with this. She's just unbelievable. So yeah, when you meet people like that, it makes you realize that I mean, I met also a couple of people that are very successful and are not worth anything because they're really not nice people, but only a few. Normally when they are so famous, I mean, you see that they are so personable, so lovable, and I'm like, god bless them, really. I mean, it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Absolutely. What about your Giada Live show? Tell us about that. I know it's doing really well for you.
Yes, it was a COVID loneliness moment. I was close Vegas, March the 12th, and 3 days later, I had with me in my apartment also my musical director, Gaetano Randazzo, a maestro that flew from Italy to do the show with me for I was a conductor and the arranger. And I was like, oh gosh, I need to do something. I'm going crazy with the three of us, me, Jaja, and Gaetano. We were only eating already at the time. And
Right.
so I pick up my phone and I just started to say hello. And then I did it every day. And then people started to call it like, when are you going to do your program again? I said, Jaja, we should make a program. Come on. So we call it Java Live. We have, I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. We have
I
like, here
did.
comes the sound. Doo-doo-doo-doo. There is an
Nice.
intro, there is an outro with Dankeschön. And so
Oh, wait.
I made it, yeah. And then when we fly to, so I started to talk. And then, of course, I know a lot about Italy because I was born and raised here. I travel a lot inside Italy, and I noticed that people were home doing nothing. So they loved me talking about Italy. I started to teach them American Sign Language. I started to teach them Italian. And then they said, can you cook? I said, oh, yeah. So I moved the whole camera into my kitchen, and I was cooking. And then
Oh,
some people said, can you do something with drinks? I said, well, I famously don't drink, but I was able to find myself a sponsor for wine. And so JJ said, now you have somebody giving you some money for it. So you have to talk. So I started to make cocktails. And that was the most funny with Giada Life because I was just honestly said, okay, today we're going to make, and I was making this cocktail. Everything was going wrong, but I was making good one. And of course, because I don't drink, JJ started to drink because I was passing the 2 glasses behind the camera. So that was a lot of fun. And I've done it 100 days straight. I interviewed
Nice.
many of my friends. I didn't interview Joe Piscopo, but I interviewed Joe Mantegna, which is one of my dearest friends. I interview so many people, Robert Davi of the Italian American community, Gina
Right.
Martin, of course. I interview David Miller of Il Divo, which, by the way, it's very sad now for Il Divo. They lost Carlos to
Yes.
COVID a few days ago. So, but he's a dear friend of mine, so I'm very sad for them. But anyway, I started to interview all my friends, mates, Nathan East. He was, and I was really making that. They call me now the Oprah Winfrey of the. Of Sure. But I mean, I entertain people. And you know what? I can tell you something. It was something very funny that I did. I mean, it was a lot of work because you guys know, yeah, especially for a woman, you have to dress up, you have to put your makeup, you have to prepare
right.
yourself. And every time you have to go there and put the lights on and do it every day, 100 days. It's a lot. But then I started to receive messages from people from all over the world because I have people that watch from Australia, from England, and I started to receive these messages of people that were so grateful, especially at the
Mhm.
beginning of COVID. They were alone, strained in their house,
Mhm.
and Java Live was the highlights of the day. They knew that they would see me and the friends. So I started to call all the people that were watching the circle of love. And before you knew, they started to communicate with each other outside the Jada Live. And now there are so many amazing friendships that are born. And I must say, a few people were really suicidal. And they said because of that, they found a reason not to do anything bad to themselves because they had somebody that was caring for them, maybe the other side of the globe. So now they make plans when COVID is over to meet each other somewhere, one of my concert or wherever. So I think it's been nice. And then I wanted to stop, of course, at a certain point. Everybody was begging me, no, no, don't stop. So I only stopped the cooking, the cocktails. And to these days, they say, when are you going to be cooking again? So when I came here to Italy 2 weeks ago, I said to JJ, I cannot stop the Jabalai. So I took out the bed. This was my bedroom. We took out everything for the joy of my mom. And we built the studio here. So now we're doing the Jabalai even while I'm in Italy. And I'm actually Wednesday interviewing somebody that is in Nashville.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah. So yeah, and I keep doing it. I mean, I do it only once a week, and on Sunday I do something where I sing only on my Patreon page. I call it the Love Song Sunday, and I sing for the people that it's just a subscription. So I sing for them for 45 minutes, which has been fantastic because I've learned so many new songs. You
Wow.
should know that there are many. I mean, I'm born and raised in Italy, so I've just been in America for a short time. So sometimes I say, do you know that song for you guys like super famous? And you're like, no, I never heard it before. They look at me like, you are in music. Yeah. And then I learn it and I sing it for them, and they're like, wow, I've learned the song Crazy, I'm Crazy for. I never heard of that song. Never heard of that, no. So now I know all the country song and rock songs, and so every Sunday I sang a lot of Broadway things. I'm not a Broadway things, but a couple of weeks ago they wanted to have Broadway songs, so I sang all the songs from West Side Story. I'm like, and the funny thing is sometimes I learn them in the morning and I sing them in the afternoon, and they're like, "You learned them in the afternoon?" I said, "Yeah, I'm very good in learning." So
You're good at everything.
Absolutely.
Listen, I can't believe that you lose your innocent dialect when you sing, because you sound like the people. Is that something that you worry about?
yeah, it's a yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah, it's I sing pretty well in with an accent in any kind of language because I'm very interested in the sound of languages. I want to know what I'm singing about, and I
Mhm.
think it's easy to sing without an accent or less accent because you have a reference of somebody that has done it. So if you are a good musician, you hear sometimes when I hear people that have a very thick Italian accent while singing, I'm like, how good are you? Not really, because I mean, music is just. I mean, I love the sound of music, but and I love to learn. I mean,
Mhm.
that song "Crazy," by the way, it's a beautiful song that I learned from one of my fans that he said was his favorite song, and I Googled it. I found a backing track on the YouTube, and I downloaded and I sang it. People were like, "When did you learn the song?" I said, "This morning." Yeah, it's good, right? So I said, one of these days, maybe after COVID, maybe I have to do a concert. The one I'm going back to the Smith Center, the April the 20th. Maybe I should do like the COVID songs, all the COVID songs. I've learned so many. I've learned a country song that maybe I'm so lonesome I could die. Do you know? I'm so lonesome I could die. And I also learned it with the way that the guy was singing. People were like, "Well, she has a country accent." I said, "Well, I copied from the singer." So I was singing. Like, will the circle be unbroken? I mean, oh, by the
Wow.
way, I always thought it was a happy song. Such a sad
Yeah, it's
song.
a sad song.
But anyway, so who knows? But it's nice. And of course I speak Dutch, but I don't sing much Dutch songs. So during the Love Song Sunday, people were like, they love when I sing in French because French is such a beautiful language. So they always say, "Oh, when you sing in French or in Italian." But so sometimes I said, "Can you sing something in Dutch?" So I learned Dutch song, German. Actually, Silent Night is originally in a German song, was written in German. So a couple of weeks ago, I sang it in French, in German, in Dutch, in Italian. And people were like, wow,
Wow.
the same song,
That's
different languages.
impressive. That's really impressive. A lot of people.
It's the true meaning of Christmas.
Right? Yeah. And you need to be a
Absolutely.
little bit, you need to have like some bullet less in you say, un bullone in meno, we say, you need to have something missing in your brain to be an artist, right? Otherwise, you will do another job that pays more money. You can sleep at night. You don't do interview at 2 in the morning, right? So,
Now you're doing an annual trip to Italy, right, with some of your fans in the fall of 2022. Tell us about that.
So every year, I mean, I love Italy. I promote everything and anything about my country. And I noticed that people want to say, yeah, when I go to Italy, I would love to go with you. They started to say, because I would love to see the stuff, not all the touristic things, but also things that only Italians knows about it. For instance, from Venice, from Rome, where my father is from. So a couple of years back, we said, yeah, let's put something together. So we do it together with Perillo Tour, and we had was supposed to be in March, but we moved it to October next year because of COVID. We are not sure that people will be safe to travel. And I take them to Italy. Every year we have a different itinerary. Of course, there is always Venice because this is my hometown and I know Venice very well. And when I try to explain to people what they will see if they come and see Italy with me, first of all, they get to spend 10 days with me. There is going to be
Nice.
always a concert. And we always do next year, we're going to do a concert in Tuscany,
Oh
and
wow.
a little private concert only for the group of people, max of 60 of them. And
Nice.
they get to see the touristic place, but then they get to see stuff. I can take them inside, for instance, in Venice, in places where normally normal tourists cannot get in. They are friends of mine, so I can
Right.
take them to the Seguso experience. Is the most famous family that makes glass from Venice. They are like
Oh,
I mean,
nice.
30 generations, and normally they don't take more than two people at a time. For me, they do an exceptions. They take small groups of 20, and the Seguso experience is beautiful. You get to see some of the objects that they made in these 30 years of glass making. They are in a museum all around the world, and you get to there. And if they are lucky, which normally with me they are, at the end of the tour, they get to meet the one that is the main master of the Seguso, the guy that is, let's say, is maybe in his 70 now, and that is the most amazing person a human being can ever meet. It's like people were asking the last time I was there with a group, how do you make glass? You know, the glass is liquid, right?
Mm-hmm.
So people were asking him, how do you know when to stop blowing into the glass that you can get
Right.
wherever thing? And he said, I don't know, the glass know. And people
Wow.
believe it, but he has a way to tell him, and it's true. That's the way he sees glass. He talks to glass. He engraved glass with words. He's just a magnificent human being. He's a poet. He has written several books of poetry. So sometimes when the maestro is in good mood, we can end to finish the tour and we can go there. But of course, I love food. So there is always also cooking classes, not by me, by a real chef, let's say, because I can cook, but I mean,
Right.
I want them to learn from the best. So there is a lot of food to try, wine thing. I don't drink, but I know all the winery. I come from the region of winery. So my father said, what's wrong with you that you don't drink? But I mean, I know what a good wine is. So they're going to get to do all these things. And then, of course, we do the same in Verona. We go to Verona, which is the city of Romeo and Juliet, and
Beautiful.
so Italy is joyful. And some of my fans are of a certain age, and they love when I do this tour because I don't make them walk a lot. It's very well organized because I'm lazy myself. You know, I don't want to go with gym shoes around. I want to wear nice shoes with heels. So I don't want to walk for 20 hours. So I said, don't you worry, I'm wearing heels. So you can come with a wheelchair. So we do a lot. We have a lot of fun. And I always try to have, at least we always had young and old together. So we became like at the end of the 10 days, it's like a little family. Everybody take care of the other. So it's
Right.
very joyful. So I hope that next October it will really happen because we have to cancel it this year and also last
I
year.
know. Let's hope.
So let's keep the fingers crossed. So you guys can come.
Oh, I wish I could. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, me too.
Um, you're of course you're in Italy right now for Christmas. Tell us about Christmas in Italy. I've been to Italy, but I've never been there at Christmas time. Must be absolutely beautiful. What are your plans for the next few days?
I try. I mean, it's my first Christmas with my parents in 10 years because I was always working around the holidays. So it's going to be very special. And I have to start right away to say that on Christmas, the 24th, we don't have the seven fishes. I don't know where the seven fishes are coming from because I remember when I moved to the United States, everybody was said, "Are you going to have the seven fishes?" I said, "What do you mean?" So the first Christmas that my parents were in New York with me, I said to my mom, "Mom, we need to make the seven fishes." My mom said, "Why?" Because it's a tradition, it's the Italian American. So we couldn't figure it out. Seven fishes. So one of them was a can of tuna.
Oh wow.
It was seven fishes. So we don't have seven fishes, but we do eat fish. the 24th. Then we will go to the church if they are open, hopefully this year. And then the 25th, we're gonna have the big dinner where we're gonna have meat, of course. And we have something here in Italy that you guys unfortunately don't have in the United States. We have also the second Christmas day, which is
Oh,
Santo.
wow.
Yeah, it's Saint Stephen.
Yeah, my birthday.
You see, and it's the same. Let's say the Christmas day, the 25th, we are with, let's say, the small family, and the 26th, the second Christmas day. Then you can go to your hand of other people. Let's say the Christmas day is only with, say, mom and dad and your brothers and sisters, and then second Christmas is with more family. So right now in Italy, we still have COVID going strong, and actually since today, also the region of Venice is having some higher numbers, so they decided to put some restrictions. So we don't know yet what we can do. But I'm going to be spending actually the Christmas day with my mom and dad. And then
Nice.
the day after, we're going to pick up one of my aunt, who she's alone. She lost my uncle last year. We're going to have another big food celebration. So what is Christmas in Italy? Is food, food, and more food.
Doc, any parting shots for Giada?
Giada, it's been a pleasure having you. We wanted to know if you could do a sweeper for us for the Jim show and the radio station when we play your music.
What do you want me to do?
It's called a radio liner. Basically, all you're just going to say is who you are, and you know what you and you're singing, and you're listening to the Jimmy Deal show, and you're listening to it on Helmet Radio. That's all you have to say.
So the Jimmy Deal, you want to say the Jimmy Deal? So like I am Giada Valenti, and you are listening to the Jimmy Deal show.
Yeah, on Hamilton Radio. Yeah.
Or what is
Hamilton Radio? Hamilton.
Oh, Hamilton. Oh, so you want me to say that I'm Italian, you know? I'm a little bit, and it's late. So you want me to
it's all right.
That's okay. That's fine.
You're listening to the Jimmy Dale show at the Hamilton Radio, and here is my single Silent Night, Noche de Paz. That's what I
You can say that too, but you can say who you are, and then I'll just play it with it.
Who am I? That's the question. So I am Giada Valenti. I'm an Italian. What do you want me to say? What are you complicating my life? So I'm Giada Valenti. I'm a singer songwriter from Venice, Italy, and I'm here at the Jimmy Dale at 1 a.m. And you are going to listen now to my single Silent Night, Noche de Paz on Hamilton Radio.
There you go. Wow. Very good. Giada, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And hopefully we can hook up next time I'm in Las Vegas. We'll get to say hello. So that would be fun. And
please come and do so.
Absolutely. And you have a very Merry Christmas in Italy with your family. Doc G, any parting shots?
Yeah, Merry Christmas as well. And we might be related. I don't know. I have to look at the.
And I teach you how to say Merry Christmas in sign language. So this is Merry Christmas. So Merry Christmas.
Oh, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Yes.
Oh, beautiful.
So Merry Christmas to you.
Oh,
thank you so much.
It has been a pleasure to be your guest, and let's stay connected. This is All American Sign Languages, and thank you for having me. Buon Natale.
Buon Natale. Thank you so much, and tell JJ thank you as well. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Buon Natale as well. Bye-bye.
Buon Natale anche a voi. Ciao.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas.
Okay, Jimmy. Wow, another great show. Thank you, Giada, for being here. She's
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
She was great. Wasn't she great?
She's an amazing talent and such great information. And I love, like I said, I love interviewing everybody, but I just love when a person really wants to be interviewed and talk. That's what.
Absolutely. She's great. Yeah.
Yep.
Also, I just want to say Monday coming up on Celebrity Spotlight, we have Tia Goins. She's a Nashville recording artist, country singer. So she'll be here. So that should be fun. Then, of course, we got Elvis's birthday celebration with Elvis's cousin, Joey Smith. And he will join us. Comedian Mike Dupree is on the way. The radio chick Leslie Gold. Jack Jones, Lena Prima, the daughter of Louis Prima, of course. And, of course, today I just booked Crystal Bauer Socks from American Idol. She was great on the show, so she's going to have a great time here with us, I'm sure. And I just want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and have a great week. And Doc G, what else do you have?
Yeah, same here. Merry Christmas, everybody, and we'll see you next Monday. And God willing, we'll all be here after Christmas.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you, Tom and Cindy, my mom, so many people out there. Thank you, everyone who joined us tonight and join us every week. We really do appreciate it. Have a great week and a very Merry Christmas, and we will check you out on the 27th with Tia Gones, country artist.
Bye, everybody, and my friend Prince Fleet Easton as well. Have a great night, guys.
Good night, Prince.